Lewis Twins channel. Today's video is going to be so exciting, as you can see by the books here beside me. Today we're going to be reading only Christmas books for the next week and see how many books we can finish. And to add a fun little twist on it, we decided to wrap our December TBR and let a spin wheel choose what we're going to be reading in this video. And this is so fitting because I have been in the biggest reading slump. I don't know why, but I do not want to touch a book. I will do anything besides touching a book. Do the dishes need to be put away? Does the bathroom need to be clean? Like literally anything besides picking a book. So I want to end my reading slump, and I think this video will do it because it is the end of December and I'm feeling all the Christmas vibes. So I'm just excited to read a book and further put me into the Christmas spirit. So I'm gonna spin the wheel and see which book we get. So we got number 2, so let's open it up and figure out what book it is. So this is number 2. So the book that I got is Duke, actually, and Brianna read this book maybe 2 or 3 years ago and she was like, I loved this book. So I am super excited to read this one. So it says, there's a royal wedding on and things are about to get interesting. Meet the man of honor. Maximilian von Habsburg, Baron of Loudon and heir to the Duke of Aquila, is not having a Merry Christmas. He's been dumped by a princess, he's unemployed, and his domineering father has sent him to New York to meet a prospective bride he has no interest in. In the city, he meets Danny Martinez, a smart and gorgeous professor. He's determined to befriend before their best friends marry in the Aldovian wedding of the century, and then meet the best woman. Newly single, no-nonsense New Yorker Danny is done with love. She's even written a list entitled Things I Will Never Again Do for a Man, which is why she hits it off with the notorious Max. He's the perfect partner for snow angels in Central Park and deep conversations about the futility of love. It's all fun and games until their friendship deepens into attraction, but oops, falling in love was never a part of the plan. I'm super excited to read this because the trope where like the prince, I know he's not technically a prince, but like the prince, royalty, whatever, meets like a just regular woman. I feel like that is like one of my favorite tropes in Christmas books. So many movies, so many books. So I'm super excited to dive into this, but to set the vibes, we are going to light our Christmas tree and get all cozy. I'm already liking this book so far. I'm literally on page 6, but there's this one line where Danny and Max are already exchanging texts in the beginning. And I'm really just enjoying the banter between Max and Danny. I really love a banter between characters. That's like one of my favorite parts about romance books. And if the author can do that well, then I'm hooked from the beginning. So basically, he's trying to ask her on a date. And she keeps being like, no, I'm not going on a date with you. And he was like, lunch? And she was like, no. He was like, a drink? And she was like, no. And he was like, coffee? And she was like, coffee is a drink. He was like, so that's still a no? And she's like, yes. He was saying that he likes her because she's normal. And she was like, is that supposed to be a compliment or an insult? He was like, you don't like me, therefore I like you. I'm like a kid who wants what he can't have. I feel like that's just what we do as people. If somebody doesn't like us, we try to get them to like us. I'm really enjoying it, as I'm only quite literally on page 7. I'm like, me gonna start in a British accent because I'm reading this Duke actually book. So it is a little bit later and we actually got hungry, so we're gonna take a break from our physical books and we're gonna start an audiobook while we're cooking. And we decided to start Only Santa's in the Building, and this is a part of the Under the Mistletoe collection, and there's about 6 short Christmas stories and they're about an hour and 30 minutes each. And while we're listening to the book, we decided to make the perfect Christmas treat, and we're going to be making a gingerbread loaf. And it's kind of a little bit different because the one from Whole Foods came with a lemon icing, and I've never paired gingerbread and lemon together, so this should be an interesting combination and I'm gonna see if I like it. But let's get into this cooking and let's get into this audiobook. the book that I'm reading, but I'm reading The Christmas Tree Farm. And I've actually been reading this book over the past couple of weeks, so I wanted to finish it before I picked a new book. And this is a part of the Dream Harbor series. This is actually the third book. I kind of like skipped around because I did the Pumpkin Spice Cafe and I skipped the Cinnamon Bun because it was like getting into the Christmas season when I was going to read that book, and I want to save that for fall. So then I went straight into the third one. It's an interconnected standalone series, so you don't have to go in order to follow the story. Like each book follows a different set of characters. The ones that have books prior to this one are mentioned in the book, but we're not really focused on them. All of the books in the series are giving like a small town romance type of vibe. This one is a little bit interesting to me because it is grumpy and sunshine, but it's like the opposite. Like the girl is grumpy and the guy is Mr. Sunshine. I don't want to judge this book too soon, but I feel like I definitely enjoyed the Pumpkin Spice Cafe a little bit more. I feel like in this book, the author is doing a little bit more of telling us about the characters instead of showing us how she wants us to perceive these characters. I'm just not really connecting with these characters, connecting with the story as much. I'm over halfway. I'm on page 235, so I don't want to judge it too quick because I still have like a little bit over 100 pages left. It's not that I'm not enjoying it, it's just like I enjoyed the first one a little bit more. This book follows Kira and Bennett. They are our main characters. This is all on the back of the book, so it's not any spoilers, but Kira moves to Dream Harbor because she opens up a Christmas tree farm. She has never seen this farm before. She just randomly, I just want to start over, I want to have a new life. So she bought this Christmas tree farm sight unseen and moved to Dream Harbor. She's never really run a business before, doesn't really know anything about Christmas tree farm or really anything about the business. And our main character Bennett is on vacation in Dream Harbor because he needs time away from his life and he just wanted to take a little bit of a break, so he decided to go to this town for Christmas. And they've had a few run-ins before the town gets hit with the snowstorm, and they get stuck in Kira's house together during the snowstorm, and they discover that they may have a little bit more in common than they thought. But Bennett is actually dealing with a timeline because he's gonna go back to his old life once the new year hits. So they're kind of figuring out if they want to continue this romance during the time that they had together, or if they just want to end it because they don't want to get too involved and hurt when he has to go back to his old life. It has been really cold in New York, and today when we went out, it said it like felt like 12 degrees, which is like insane. So I'm definitely in need for a bath night, and I love reading books in the bathtub because it's like a time to relax and unwind and just be all warm and really immersed into the story. That's what I'm going to be getting ready to go do now. So I'm going to put this book on hold for a moment while I'm setting up my bathtub, and I'm going to get back into Only Santa's in the Building while I'm setting everything up. For the bathtub, you always need snacks, and we were in Whole Foods earlier and we got some snacks for our bath tonight. We just picked up this Lesser Evil popcorn, and the reason that we got it is because it's one of their holiday flavors. This is the sweet and salty. It's like salty popcorn, but it has like hints of coconut because they sweeten it with coconut oil, and it's really good. And then I'm also going to be drinking this cranberry fizz poppy. This is like one of my favorite poppy flavors. I love that they bring it back every holiday.
Up the apartment with no one to talk to.
For some reason, it has gotten extremely late, literally almost 9 o'clock at night. So we kind of got ready for bed with our skincare and our body care, but we need to eat dinner now. We're gonna continue listening to this Only Santa's in the Building book. So far, it is pretty good. My mind keeps wandering, not because I don't like this book, just a lot of stuff is going on in my life right now, so I feel like I have to keep going back. But I'm enjoying it so far. We'll talk a little bit more about what the book was about when we finished it, but we have 35 minutes and 58 seconds left, so I think we're gonna finish this while we make dinner, and I'm super excited to see how this wraps up. When you remember you have free will will, and I can drink a poppy and a wine glass in my robe while I listen to my audiobook and make my dinner. That sounds like peak night to me. Cheers! We just finished making dinner. We just made a stir fry and I still have my poppy. I've been sipping on this while I've been cooking. And while we were cooking, we finished up only Santa's in the Building. This one was okay. This wasn't my favorite audiobook. I feel like it did not have a lot of plot, but I feel like that's like kind of hard with short stories because they are short. It was really only like an hour. So it's hard to build plot and character development and all those stuff in that short time. But I do feel like some audiobooks, even though they are short, do it better. I don't even know what I'm gonna rate this. I just felt like I kind of listened to a whole thing and it was just, I don't know, the romance between the two main characters just felt a little bit rushed. Just the whole book to me just felt kind of rushed, and I don't want to say random, but just rushed. Basically what this book is about is the main character, Evie Cruz, is like a comic book writer. So she writes comic books, and the book starts off with her like having deadlines. Like she was really working on some comic book and she's working on a deadline to get done, and she was like, I have a crazy deadline routine. I basically stay up all night, eat a bunch of snacks, blah blah blah. So that's her, and then she has a crush on, this is all in the synopsis, she has a crush on her upstairs neighbor Theo. Basically every year one of the tenants in the apartment holds a Christmas party and it has different themes. This one was called Only Santa's in the Building, so basically everybody had to dress up as Santa Claus or different forms of Santa Claus. Long story short, Evie and Theo both go to this Christmas party and the story kind of unfolds from there. One of my biggest pet peeves with romance books is when I don't feel like the romance is believable, or if the romance is forced, or something about the romance. No lead up to the romance is basically, I guess, what I'm trying to say. It's just like, blah, believe these two people like each other, and we're like, where did we even get that from? I don't think I recommend this book. I think I'm probably gonna rate this like a 2.5. I don't think I would really recommend anybody reading this. Maybe this book just wasn't for me, or maybe it was just really short, so I need a little bit more development with characters in books to really get a strong connection to characters and really like them. I know not every book is supposed to be deep and serious, but this one just didn't really have a lot of substance, and I didn't feel a connection to either one of the characters. Like I did not care about either one of them. On that note, we're gonna eat our dinner and then we're probably gonna get ready for bed and do a late night reading session. As I said earlier, it's literally 10:13. It is 2 days later and I finished the Christmas Tree Farm. I definitely can say that I actually enjoyed the book more toward the end of the book, and I actually felt more of like the romance and connection between the characters during the last 100 pages. I just felt like, as I was saying earlier, the author was trying to force this romance onto us. It didn't really evolve naturally to me. It was more, she set it up as letting us know that they're gonna fall in love, but not really showing us how they're gonna fall in love. But I felt like I definitely saw a lot more action at the end of the book, and I actually really did enjoy this. I still did enjoy the Pumpkin Spice Cafe more than this one, but I still think this was a cute Christmas romance. I still didn't really have too much of a connection to the characters themselves. Strong feelings of if I liked them, if I didn't, they were just kind of there. I would probably give this a 3.5, but I'm ready to get into this reading for today. I just made myself a hot peppermint mocha, and I normally don't drink hot coffee, but I was it because it's so cold this morning, and it's now time for me to spin the wheel. I'm so excited. So I got number 4. So here is number 4. So I got A Very Merry Bromance by Lissa K. Adams, and I actually did start this book last Christmas, but I don't remember which page I am on, so I'll probably restart it. Let me tell you a little bit about what this book is about. So basically we have Colton Wheeler and Gretchen Winthrop, and they are our main characters, and Colton is a famous country music star, and Gretchen is an immigration attorney, and they met sometime before, and they had a little bit of a, not really much of a romance, but more like a one-night stand situation, and Colton felt like he had found his person, he was in love. And more so for Gretchen, it was kind of just a one-time thing, like she really wasn't interested in going any further with him. So the book picks up a year later after their encounter, and Colton is still feeling really bad about himself, about this encounter, about not being able to go forward with Gretchen, but he still wants to push through because it is a holiday. And then in terms of Gretchen, a year later, she's not really feeling too holly or jolly either, because she's seeing all of this Christmas cheer and stuff going around, but for her clients, it's hard for them to afford rent. So she can't really get too involved into the Christmas spirit because she's thinking about her clients. But she has a family that she's estranged from, and they are very wealthy, and they actually come up with an offer, something that she's not able to resist, that's going to be able to help her clients. But the only caveat is that she has to partner with Colton because they want him to be the face for this whiskey brand deal, and she has not talked to him since this encounter a year ago. So he eventually agrees to do this deal with her, but it's in exchange for 3 dates before Christmas. But then the final sentence is like a typical Christmas book cliche. It says, but Gretchen and Colton will both need to overcome the ghosts of Christmas past to build a future together. So I'm really excited to dive into this book. It's giving me like a country Christmas vibe because he is a country singer, but let's get into this reading. Wrapped up in my blanket because it is so cold in here. But anyway, I wanted to give an update on my book Duke. Actually, I'm not quite halfway. I'm on page 168, and I'm really enjoying the book so far. I think I maybe commented a little bit earlier on the dialogue between the two characters. I really think that Max, the main character, the guy, is like so funny. I don't know, he's like always telling jokes and stuff, and I just feel like it's like my sense of humor, so I really am enjoying that. The book started off during Christmas time, and now it's going through the year, so now it is summertime. A few chapters back, it was New Year, so they both made New Year's resolutions, and that's kind of why they're still talking. They both were like, we need to hold each other accountable and make sure that we do X, Y, and Z by the end of the year, and we're gonna check in with each other and blah, 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 blah. So over the course of the year, they've been communicating about these resolutions and updating each other on these resolutions. We're gonna take a quick break from reading because I am so hungry right now, and we didn't eat breakfast, so we're gonna do like a brunch kind of thing. We are probably gonna make some cranberry orange pancakes because that screams wintertime to me and Christmas. The next audiobook that we're gonna be listening to is in the Under the Mistletoe collection again, and it's called Merriment and Mayhem. And this one just seems funny because I was reading the synopsis, and it's one of those things where the two main characters keep running into each other, and I feel like those are always like the best stories, so I'm excited to see if this one is better than the last one. We just finished Merriment and Mayhem, and oh my gosh, they did not lie. This book was so spicy at the end. Brittany and I were literally like in shock. We were like looking at each other like, like with the stuff that the author was writing. I think the story was overall really cute, and I think the author did a pretty good job of still giving some plot and some traits about the characters and being able to pack it into an hour and 30-minute story and still make it not feel rushed or like the reader is missing out on something. I would probably this maybe like a 3.8 or a 3.9. I did thoroughly enjoy this story, and I definitely liked it a lot better than Only Santa's in the Building. It is currently about 4:30, and to keep going through this challenge, we definitely need a midday pick-me-up. We're gonna be making a matcha, and I'm so excited because we ordered the creamer and everything earlier, and something about a homemade matcha to me really just needs a creamer. I like doing it sometimes with the oat milk and the syrup, but I really love when we have creamer, so I'm so excited to make this. It looks really dark in our apartment right now because it is winter and it gets dark at like 4:30, so that is why it looks so dark in here, but we're still gonna continue on reading. You're probably wondering why it is literally the next day, why I am still in the same pajamas we've been wearing for the past 2 days, and why we did not do a night reading session. Let me tell you what happened last night. Brown and I fully had intentions to do a night reading session. We were literally like, okay, let's do the kitchen. We're gonna get in new pajamas. We're gonna do a refresh, and we're gonna read tomorrow night. We were like, okay, once we clean the kitchen and we like straighten our apartment and everything, we're like, okay, we're just gonna lay down for like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, because we really need to lock in on this reading. So like, let's just get 20 minutes out of the way. 20 minutes happened. We did 20 minutes, and then we're like, okay, let's just put a 10-minute timer on. The timer did not go off. It really did not go off. I don't even know what time Brianna woke up, because Brianna woke up sometime last night. I didn't. I think she woke up at like 2 in the morning and was like, we still literally had our Christmas tree on, our lights on. We really had full intentions on getting back up. But once 2 in the morning hit and we were both asleep, and I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, the timer never went off. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm like, well, the timer's not going off tonight. I was like, we need to go to sleep. We ended up just falling asleep and staying asleep. So that's what happened last night. I'm gonna sit here and I'm not gonna get up until I finish Duke Actually. I hit the 200 page mark yesterday, so I have like this much left, which I think this is past the halfway mark. So I think it should probably take me 2 hours to get this book done, but I cannot get up from this spot until I finish this book. I have made myself another cup of tea. I'm really in a tea kick lately. This is again another mint tea. So I'm gonna sit here and finish this book and not get up until it is done. Danny has a dog, and the dog's name is also Max. The human Max gave them both nicknames. The human Max is Maximus, and then the little Yorkie dog is Max Minimus. And it's just so funny because Max Minimus really likes Max Maximus. I feel like it's so confusing. I'm just gonna say human and dog. Basically, dog Max really likes human Max. Right now in the story, they both have friends that are getting married. Danny's friend, the guy, is marrying Max's friend, the woman. They're really not that important. I think they were like book 1. They're in Aldovia for this wedding, so basically she's at Max's house, but her dog keeps wanting to get in the bed with Max. He like cuddling with Max, human Max. The dog it's just like so confusing. The dog Max really likes cuddling with the human Max, and Danny keeps being like, Max, dog Max, come on, let's go to bed. And the dog Max does not want to go because he wants to continue hanging out with human Max. And I just think it's so cute and so funny that this little Yorkie is like obsessed with Max. So it is a lot later, but I finally finished Duke Actually, and I really did enjoy this book. I would probably give it like a 3-star. It was just like a standard cheesy Christmas romance book, very low stakes. My thing is with these Christmas romances is we've got to stop making them longer than 300 pages. I have never read a romance book period, let alone a Christmas romance book that needs to be over 300 pages. This was almost 400 pages. It was 371. And I feel like after that it just starts to drag on. on. Again, like I said, low stakes, not really a lot of stuff going on. Obviously there's plot, but it's just kind of like, okay, like let's just hurry up and wrap the story up. I definitely feel like this could have been wrapped up in like around 300 pages. And also a complaint that I have is the third act breakup, which they have in every single romance book, so that's like not a spoiler, but the third act breakup in this book was so stupid. It wasn't even really a miscommunication. It was kind of like one of the characters just overreacted, but it was like so dumb. Other than that, I really did enjoy the story, and I really thought that the dog in the story, as I talked about earlier, he was so cute, and I just really liked this book, and I liked how it wrapped up. There's like something at the end that I would like to see maybe featured in the next book, just to get like a wrap up on them. I feel like the epilogue didn't really do a good job at tying everything in a bow, but I have been in these pajamas for a few days, as you guys have seen, so I'm definitely about to go take a shower, get a little bit refreshed, and feel more like a human again, because I've been in my bed for hours trying to finish that book. I literally have been sat here for like 3, almost 4 hours. So we woke up to snow today, which was a pleasant surprise. This is the first snow of the winter season. I know that it's technically still fall, but anytime there's snow on the ground, it is officially winter in my mind and in my heart. So a few days ago, I finished Duke Actually, so that means it is time for me to pull another book. We still have this whole pile of books to choose from, and I'm super excited to see what we get because we do have some new releases in here. Hopefully I get one of those. I think when you always do one of these, you know what you don't want to get and you know what you do want to get. So this is book number 7, so let's unwrap it. So this is The Bright Side of Christmas by Morgan Elizabeth. This is one of her new books, and I'm really excited to read this one because I really like Morgan Elizabeth as an author. Earlier in the year, I read her book Passenger Princess, and it was one of my favorite books that I've read the entire year. So I'm really excited to get into this one. This is a part of her new series, the Holly Bridge series. I don't know if they're all going to be Christmas books or if it's just this one, but look how cute this cover is and the back as well. Both are just giving everything. Basically what this book is about, we have 2 main characters. The first one is Wren King, and both of them live in this small town called Holly Bridge, and she's basically just the town sweetheart. Like everybody loves her. It says on the back of the book that whenever someone needs something, they call her, blah blah blah. She's saying Christmas is always her favorite season, but this year she's taking it to a whole nother level because this is how you know you're reading a small town romance book, because it says that she is the head of the decorating committee for Christmas. They said that she's determined to make this festival bigger and better than they've ever seen it before. And it says, who cares if she's tired and worn down? She can sleep in January, period. We are Holly and we are jolly. So then we have our mailman character, Adam, and he is obviously going to be your typical Scrooge. He hates Christmas, and he moved to this Christmas town, which I guess maybe he doesn't know that it's a Christmas town because he wanted some peace and quiet. He is a writer and he's having writer's block. So he came to this town to try to get a little bit of peace and quiet, to try to write his next song before the new year. And he moved in next to Wren, and as I said, Wren is the decorating queen, so he lets her know that he's not going to be decorating this year, and a battle ensues. It says on the back, he tells her he has no plans to decorate his home and thus threatened to break a 60-year tradition in this town. A battle of decor ensues. And then it says Wren is determined to make him like the holiday and Adam is determined to not like the holiday. I'm so excited to see how this plays out because just reading the fact that a battle ensues, Morgan Elizabeth is really good at writing characters. I really like her character in the Passenger Princess book. It was funny, it was witty, it was literally everything, the perfect rom-com book. So I'm excited to see if she does well in the Christmas world for me too. As I said, it was snowing, but I'm really craving a hot matcha, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and walk in the snow, brace the snow. I'm trying new things this winter time and trying to really romanticize the season, as we talked about in our last video. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. So then once I get my matcha, I'm gonna come back and we're gonna get into this reading. about a little less than halfway into this book, and I'm really liking it so far. I'm on page 144, and I definitely love the conversations between Gretchen and Colton, and it's just funny how she keeps her sarcasm and her trying to avoid his advances is just so funny to me, and him not really being bothered by that and continuing to try to make her laugh and make her happy is just everything. But that's gonna close out our video. We have been reading Christmas books all week, and I'm still not over them. I'm really enjoying the Christmas books. I think this is probably the most I've enjoyed Christmas books, and I just want to continue to just read them until Christmas time, and we still have a few days before Christmas, so I'm definitely going to be finishing this one. And then I also want to be reading Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. But this is the end of the video, and if you liked it, comment the Santa emoji if you liked the video, and make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a video. Bye!